There are two kinds of people in this world. The people who fail to do what they know they should, and those who keep doing things they know they shouldn't. Guess what? You're both. Hi, I'm your host, life and business coach, Marcy Barker, aka your loving kick in the pants. In this podcast, I'll teach you the 6 steps of my accountability code that will help you wake up with clarity and show up with aligned action steps that make follow-through easy and peaceful. All right, let's jump in.
Hello, my beautiful people. I had a good day of self-care today. I had a training for my responsibility at church, and then there was a picnic with my other church members, and I just got time to sit and chat, and I don't know how long it's been since I've done that. And this person that I was talking to, I could talk to her all day long. And she was asking me about my coaching and just my experiences, and we talk about a whole lot of other stuff. But she asked me a question that I felt would be a good topic for a podcast. And she asked me, as an accountability coach, if I do a lot of hand holding. And I love that question because it's like people want hand holding, and other times they're like, I don't want hand holding. Like, I got to learn how to do things on my own. And hand holding can sound kind of like needy or dependent. But I told her hand holding is actually not really a thing. If somebody is coming to me and they're asking me for help constantly, I love that because it means that they're communicating and they are taking action. Because hand holding, when you're working with an accountability coach, and the framework of the accountability code is based on commitments and based on taking action, it's like I really can't handhold when it comes to taking action. There becomes a point where we talk so much as a coach and client that it's like, now it's time to actually go and do it. And I was telling my friend how grateful I am that I am in a position where people listen to me and they want to listen to me, and there's benefits from listening to me. And it's not even about listening to Marcy. It's about going through the process of revealing what needs to happen next and then moving forward with that. And hand holding is very much so like every single step we take together. And if the plans change, we navigate that together. And if we get on a path where it seems like a detour, it's like we're doing it together. And again, if you're communicating what you're going through and you're willing to move into progression, no matter what it looks like, hand holding is like not even the term. It's like a partnership. It becomes something that's very fluid and very productive and very fulfilling for both parties. And so a lot of my clients have reached new heights of their own functioning and different possibilities within their business. And I'm so grateful every single day that I get to be a part of that growth.
Hey listeners, the message of waking up and showing up is yours for the taking. In fact, it's free. I've recorded my entire audiobook and I'd love for you to consume it between episodes. Head to marcybarker.com to get instant access to the accountability code Wake Up and Show Up. All right, let's jump back in.
This last week of personal calls that I do, I kind of pushed every client to go a little bit faster or a little bit harder or a little bit more direct or extreme. Like, we came up with our commitment items and I was like, I think you can do a little bit more, or I think you can do a little bit faster. And part of the reason I say that is because I've done some of the things that they are wanting to do, or I've done some of the things I'm asking them to do. And it's much easier to listen to somebody who has walked the walk, especially knowing like they're there for you to hold your hand if you feel like that's what you need. So if you are ever in a place where you're like, man, I could really use some hand holding, then we might be a good fit together, because I've gone through lots of programs where I paid for somebody's mastermind. It was a year long. It was the highest investment I had made in my business at that time. And I remember getting close to no one-on-one time with that coach. I was talking to the clients in her group, and I was taking advantage of the group calls and asking all my questions, making sure I got my time, but I really never got one-on-one time with that coach. And I was thinking how unfortunate it was that the most interaction I ever had with her was her selling me into her program. And I learned from that I did not want to be like that. And I've actually given a lot of personal and one-on-one time to people, and I'm finding that I love it. I absolutely love it. And I've had to learn how to set boundaries around what I do that. But again, this friend's question of, is it hand holding? I can't think of a better way to work with my clients than consistently communicating and consistently taking action. And I think about the people in my life who I've had consistent access to learn from, to ask questions from, and to report on my progress to. Those are some of the most influential people in my life. And so just to think I might be a teeny tiny part of that for somebody in their progress is really fulfilling. So if you are feeling like, man, I could use somebody in my corner, then it might be a good time to reach out and see if we're a good fit. But at the end of the day, I want you to know that taking consistent action and imperfect action is really all that's needed to continue moving forward. And then, of course, having a guide or the framework to follow keeps you on track so that you learn how to handhold by yourself. Really, that's what accountability is all about, is the ability to follow through with your own desired expectations and to act accordingly based on what you're feeling on the inside. So the process of the accountability code, like I say, is a framework that helps you become aligned in mind and body so the follow through is easy and peaceful. And if you can be aligned with a coach, my goal is to help you become aligned with you through the process. And the more often you can do that and the more quickly you can do that, the more success you're going to find. But more importantly, the more happiness and peace you're going to experience on a regular basis. So anyway, I wanted to share that little nugget about hand holding and what that means. And in reality, how accountability is a version of hand holding and you get to define it however it makes sense for you. Don't ever be afraid to admit you need something like hand holding, because there's a reason why joining hand in hand is so powerful for both people involved. So anyway, I hope you have a fantastic week. I hope that if it's been a while since you've taken some time for self-care, that you do that. And I hope that you recognize the opportunities in your life where you do get to slow down and reflect on what you're doing and partake in conversations that fill your bucket, because what are we even doing in life if we don't take the time for those opportunities to be grateful for where we're at? So I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you next week for another episode of Your Loving Kick in the Pants.
Hey friends, I want to thank you for listening to this episode of Your Loving Kick in the Pants. If you got any value out of this episode, I would love for you to drop me a review or share with a friend what you learned. All right, I'll see you next Wednesday for Your Loving Kick in the Pants.